joking around one day saying, I'm going to post it. I said, no, I'm going to post it. And she was trying to beat me to it. Then I was trying to beat her to it. Then when she posted, I was like, guess we just came out. Oh my God. And I was like, oh my God. But I got so much love and so many people saying wonderful things to me, supportive things. Like, I'm talking 98 to 2% negative of the haters and trolls that
have to exist. Da Brat sat in front of the camera, her hands trembling slightly as she prepared herself to speak the words she had kept hidden for so long. I never thought I'd be here sharing this story, but the truth can't stay buried anymore. Da Brat began, her voice heavy with the weight of what she was about to reveal. For years, I've kept my silence, thinking the truth would somehow heal itself. But today I'm telling it all. Judy's biggest secret is finally coming out. And it's not easy to say this, but it's time for the world to know the real story behind the scandal. Her eyes filled with tears as she continued. This isn't just about what happened between me and Judy. This is about facing the truth, about the hurt, the lies, and the trust that was broken. It's the truth I never thought I'd have to share, but now it's time. Da Brat took a deep breath, studying herself. This is the truth that I can't keep inside anymore. And I know I'm not the only one who's been hurt by this. Da Brat's voice softened as she began to reflect on the beginning of her relationship with Judy. When I first met Judy, I thought I had found my person, the one I was meant to be with, Da Brat recalled, a distant look in her eyes as she remembered. Those early days, everything about her felt right. She was smart, funny, caring, everything I needed and wanted in someone. I trusted her from the beginning. We clicked in a way that felt natural, effortless. At first, everything was perfect. She showed me love, and I returned it wholeheartedly. I never imagined there would be secrets in her life, and I certainly never imagined I'd have to question everything about our relationship. Da Brat paused. High, expression samba. But the truth is, even in the beginning, there were small things that didn't make sense, things that I ignored. I thought they were just minor details, things that didn't matter. But deep down, I felt that there was more to Judy's story. I didn't know it then, but those small cracks would eventually lead to the biggest betrayal of my life. As time went on, Da Brat started noticing small, almost imperceptible signs that something wasn't quite right. At first, it was just little things. Da Brat explained, her voice tinged with frustration. Like, she would always get defensive when I asked about her past, about things she'd done, or about her family. There were moments when she would go quiet, distant. She'd cancel plans last minute or get upset when I asked her about her friends. The more I asked, the more she pulled away, and I didn't know what to make of it. Da Brat's voice grew more intense. I thought maybe I was being paranoid, but I couldn't shake the feeling that there was something she was hiding. But I kept pushing it down, trying to tell myself that everything was fine. I wanted to believe it. I wanted to think that this was just the stress of life, of being in the spotlight. But deep down, I knew something was off. Da Brat shook her head, the weight of those memories still fresh. Looking back, I realized I was ignoring the red flags because I didn't want to believe that the person I loved could be hiding such huge secrets from me. It wasn't until much later that Da Brat realized the full extent of Judy's hidden life. When I found out the truth, it was like my whole world came crashing down, Da Brat said, her voice thick with anger and disbelief. The lies weren't just small. They were huge things I would never have imagined. Judy had been hiding so much from me. Her relationships, her finances, even her own emotional struggles. She had been leading a double life and I didn't know anything about it. I trusted her completely. And to find out that she had been living in a world of secrets, secrets that I had no idea existed, it was devastating. Da Brat's face hardened as she continued. I loved her. I gave her everything, but she didn't return the same. She lied to me, manipulated me, and kept me in the dark. And when I found out the truth, I couldn't believe it. The person I thought I knew was a stranger. Brat paused, wiping away a tear. The pain of realizing I'd been living a lie for so long. It still hurts. Eventually, Brat reached a breaking point. The mounting evidence of Judy's secrets was too much to ignore. The day I confronted her was one of the hardest moments of my life, Brat recalled, her voice trembling with emotion. I had all the proof, the messages, the calls, everything that showed what she had been hiding. When I confronted her, it wasn't about accusations. It was about the truth, about getting the answers I deserved. Brat's eyes darkened as she spoke. Judy tried to deny it at first. Of course, she made excuses, blamed others, tried to make me feel like I was overreacting, but the truth was right in front of me. And that's when I realized I had been living in the dark in a relationship where trust was broken beyond repair. Brat paused, her voice heavy with the pain of the moment. It wasn't just the affair. It was everything. The lies, the manipulation, the secrets. That's when I knew this relationship was over. The emotional fallout was immediate and intense. When the truth came out, it wasn't just about the affair. It was about everything. Brat said, her voice thick with sorrow. I felt betrayed, crushed, and lost. The person I thought I knew had been hiding a life that I wasn't part of, and I didn't know how to process that. Brat wiped away a tear, her voice breaking as she spoke about the emotional toll. It felt like my world had been shattered in an instant. The emotional pain was unbearable, and the hardest part was trying to figure out who I could trust after that. If I couldn't trust the one person I gave everything to, then who could I trust? Brat paused, her expression pained. The aftermath of that truth was like a weight I couldn't lift, and I still feel the impact of it today. When Brat confronted Judy about the betrayal, she hoped for honesty and clarity, but what she received was far from what she needed. Judy tried to explain everything, but her excuses fell flat. Brat explained, her tone growing more bitter with each word. She had expected some level of responsibility, an acknowledgement of her hurt, but instead, Judy offered justifications. That seemed disconnected from the reality of the situation. She told me she did it to protect me, that I didn't need to know certain things. Brat recalled her voice tinged with frustration. The idea that Judy thought she was protecting her only added to Brat's pain. She had loved and trusted Judy, and to hear her offer such a shallow explanation for her actions felt like another layer of betrayal. But Brat wasn't satisfied with the excuses. When I asked her why she never trusted me enough to tell me the truth, she had no answer. Brat continued, the hurt and confusion palpable in her words. Trust had been a cornerstone of their relationship, and Judy's failure to be honest about the most important things left Brat feeling not just betrayed, but deeply misunderstood. The trust that they had built their relationship on had been betrayed, and no amount of excuses could fix that. Her answers didn't make sense. She was too defensive, too focused on justifying her actions, and not enough on taking responsibility. Brat said, her frustration growing. Judy's refusal to take accountability for her actions only deepened the wound Brat was already nursing. Instead of owning her mistakes, Judy's response was to protect herself, making it clear that her self-preservation was more important than the pain she had caused. Brat shook her head, the bitterness of the situation setting in. It wasn't about protecting me. It was about her wanting to keep me in the dark, to keep me under control while she did what she wanted. Brat said, her voice growing harder, with the weight of her realization. It wasn't just the affair that hurt. It was the manipulation, the control, and the complete disregard for the trust they'd shared. That's when I realized she wasn't sorry. She was just sorry she got caught, concluded, the sting of the truth now more apparent than ever. Judy's regret wasn't rooted in the harm she had caused, but in the fact that her actions had been exposed. That realization was the turning point for Brat. The moment she understood that no matter how much she loved Judy, their relationship was beyond repair. Da Brat's voice cracked slightly as she continued. It wasn't just about the affair. It was the way she treated me, the way she manipulated me, the way she lied to me for so long. The emotional toll of the betrayal wasn't just about the affair. It was about the years of emotional manipulation and dishonesty. And once that trust was gone, I couldn't stay. Da Brat said, the weight of her words evident. Staying in the relationship would have meant sacrificing her own well-being. And Da Brat knew she couldn't do that any longer. Da Brat's family and friends were just as shocked by the revelation as she was. They couldn't believe it, just like me, Da Brat said, her voice filled with disbelief as she remembered the reactions of those closest to her. My family didn't know what to say. They were heartbroken for me, for what I had gone through. It wasn't just Da Brat who was affected by the betrayal. It was everyone who cared about her. Her family, who had always supported her, now had to witness the pain she was enduring. They knew something wasn't right, but they didn't know the extent of it. Da Brat continued, the weight of their concern heavy in her words. When I told them, they couldn't believe it either. But despite their shock and disbelief, Da Brat's family and friends rallied around her. But they've been my rock through all of this, she said, her voice softening as she acknowledged their support. My family has always had my back, and they were there when I needed them the most. Even when Da Brat didn't know how to move forward, her loved ones were there, offering the strength and reassurance she needed to take the next step. Even when I didn't think I could go on, they reminded me that I'm not alone, that I deserve better, Da Brat said, a faint smile on her face as she reflected on their unwavering support. Their belief in her, even when she couldn't see the way forward, made all the difference. It was their love and support that helped Da Brat navigate the painful road to healing and self-discovery. When Da Brat shared her story, the public's response was overwhelming. I didn't expect so much love and support from my fans. Da Brat admitted, her voice thick with gratitude. It's been incredible to see how many people understand what I'm going through. They've shared their own stories, their own struggles, and it's helped me heal. Da Brat smiled softly. The messages I've received have been a reminder that even though I've been through so much, I'm not alone. The public's empathy became a source of strength for Da Brat, helping her move forward and rebuild her life after the painful revelations. Despite the pain, Da Brat is determined to move forward with strength. I'm focused on healing, on moving forward, and on rebuilding my life, Da Brat said, her voice filled with resolve. I'm not going to let this define me. I've learned that I can't control other people's actions, but I can control how I respond. And I choose to move forward with strength and dignity. Da Brat smiled, her eyes reflecting hope for the future. I'm ready for whatever comes next. I'm choosing to focus on my happiness, my career, and my growth. The best is yet to come, and I'm ready to face it head on. If Da Brat's story resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about Da Brat's strength and courage in facing the truth and moving forward?